David here, 3v3 Argus Desert Gate. Blue team is Space Marine, such an imaginative name, as the Chaos Lord, big tanky commander, bashes through cover, cannot be suppressed and fights in melee. That's not going to be confusing. Also FAYFAY as a Warp Spider Exarch, teleporting commander, fights in range by default, has lots of nasty tricks late game, very annoying, very good at harassing. And Bjorn as the Force commander, melee commander, offensive, can support his marines. Over on the red team we have Happy as a Ravener Alpha, fights in range by default, can build tunnels for himself and all of his allies to use, so great at mobility. Adila alongside him as an Apothecary support commander, can heal by default, also projects a regen aura, fights in melee. First and only alongside him as another Apothecary. 3 VPs as always, natural for blue in north, natural for red in the south, and 1 contested VP. As you can see, it's already seeing some conflict. We usually have 4 players fighting over this top, well, this eastern VP on this raised area. Banshees on the field for FAYFAY. Fantastic in melee against Marines if they can get into melee without dying first to range. Adila healing himself, engaging the Force commander in melee who is chasing some Marines around. We have some termagants in the building, garrisoned, ranged infantry for Tyranids. Force commander might go down here if the Hormagaunts can catch him though. Maybe if they had adrenal glands he would have gone down. Reds look like they're going to take this VP. Banshees already have their battle equipment, but they are now in retreat. West side has been pushed by blue, completely Chaos Lord forced off. He has double Chaos Space Marines with heavy ranged infantry, very good in melee for a ranged squad in a way. Double termagants for Happy. He'll probably go for the ranged blob of death Tyranid build, very popular for Ravener Alpha players. Full push here by red team on this east side, bashing power. Here comes the Ravener Alpha back from his escapades. What was he doing? Chaos Lord pushing back the west side. Center largely ignored at the moment. Blues take red's natural. 486 plays 498, early lead for red, but that's been eaten into. Tactical Marines for Bjorn with the ultramarine skin. Termagants can now pull off. You see the regen aura given by the Apothecary there, all those green hexagons. He'll probably be getting the mastercrafted bolter so he can hang back, support and shoot stuff. Hormagaunts retaking this VP. We have Raveners on the field for Happy, burrowing infantry, good at disruption. Start off as a melee squad, pretty high damage, but they can get ranged weapons also. We have grenade launchers on Space Marines Heretics. Fantastic against light infantry in tier 1. Can also disrupt so they can counter setup teams, of which we see none. Every Space Marine player has gone for tacticals into Assault Marines, jump infantry that fight in melee, good at disruption. Looks like it's all kicking off centre. Chaos Lord backing off though. Ravener Alpha and who is this? Adila? Yes. Ravener's forced off. We have melee heretics with their aspiring champion doom blasting there, suppressing all this stuff. They're going to be forced off. Might go down. No, Hormagaunts also forced off. Heretics with their aspiring champion are a very strong tier 1 melee unit. This Apothecary is in trouble. Adila, one more hit from the Chaos Lord in retreat and he goes down. Apothecaries of course have a global ability to revive all of the commanders on the map, allied commanders of course. First and only pushing the west side back, might be able to get in a gen bash, no flamers though. Blues have conquered center, also It's very strong at the top. We have a shuriken cannon set up, which suppresses infantry, slowing their speed and their rate of fire. Banshee's hitting power here. Pretty good gen bashes. Warp Spider, Exarch still level 1. Chaos Lord. Looks like all of the commanders still at level 1. No Commander Wargear anywhere. Adila is still down. Warp Spider, Exarch. Backing off with his Eldar. We have double Raveners on the field for Happy. If they both get Devourers, that's going to be a nasty ranged blob come tier 2. First and only really pushing this west side now. We have lost the indicator for first and only. He may have died, which is usually when that happens. Killed a week going off from the Chaos Lord, not really returning much health since you didn't hit much with it. Heal goes off on the Assault Marines. He should be focusing the Apothecary here. I think he is now, and they are in full retreat. Raven Alpha can now revive Adila. Nice XP for him. He'll probably level, and does. Ultramarines DLC Force Commander hanging around at the VP with his scouts who have shotguns, which is the melee counter for Space Marines in tier 1, not counting suppression squads of course. Huge blob of Tyranids over here. It's very strange that I do not see any tunnels anywhere. Oh, there's one here, that's what it is. Happy making the mistake of putting the first tunnel right outside his base, so whenever anything big comes out, like a Carnifex or Turret Guard, it will be crushed immediately. Scouts wiped by the range blob immediately. Assault Marines jump in. Looks like we do have double Devourers on these Ravener Broods. Hormigaunt squad forced off. Termagants both have their Toxin Sacks too. This is some nasty ranged firepower from these Tyranids. Banshee's forced off. Force Commander getting up and close, forcing the Raveners to stop attacking in range. They burrow though to get away. Force Commander goes down. Tactical Marines need to be very careful. Look at the range firepower. They are forced off. Shuriken Cannon won't be burrowed yet because they just use it, so don't have the energy. One squad is forced off. Center meanwhile is being pushed by Reds, but the whole map is pretty much blue here. Happy doing well, using the Termagants to draw fire off the Shuriken, but his flank doesn't work. Shuriken switches targets. I assume FAYFAY did that, and takes out the Ravener Alpha at close range. FAYFAY reviving Bjorn to level up to level 3. Assault Marines have their sergeant. Have a quick look at the resources here. FAYFAY floating a pretty decent amount. First and only floating tons of resources here. Perhaps saving for a Dreadnought. We have Warp Spiders on the field for FAYFAY. That might have been a call in. I'm not sure though. He is quite low on power, so he might have just bought them. They already have their... No, they don't have their Exarch. Blood Crusher on the field for Space Marine. Walker vehicle for Chaos in tier 2. Also a Daemon, so it regenerates health and benefits from worship greatly. Fights in melee. Not the toughest thing around though. Librarian on the field for Adila, sub-commander for Space Marines. Has his Tome of Time. Chaos Lord has his devastating Lightning Claws. Icon of Khorne also getting his Armour of the Inferno, by far the most popular armour choice for Chaos Lords. Hormagaunts being very sneaky and decapping Blue's natural. They're going to be scared off here though. They cannot touch this Blood Crusher. He charges, only hits 2, and they retreat. Good play from Happy, not panicking and retreating through all this stuff. Reds coming in force thanks to Happy. He's getting the Venom Brood, so he's going to have that devastating range Synapse and some AV. Ravener also has his Synapse Aura. That is a nasty range blob. 483 plays 233. Banshees have their Exarch and Aspect of Banshee, so she gets a Spear. Pretty good preservation of units from all players. So this is by no means over. Force Commander fully kitted out, Power Fist, Artificia and Iron Halo. He'll do superb damage in melee and be pretty tough. Looks like double Mark of Tzeentch for these Chaos Space Marines. Yet to get their Sergeants though. This will be an interesting fight. Missile attacks and Melter Bomb going off on this Blood Crusher. There's Armor of the Inferno disrupting all the stuff. He needs to tie up those missile attacks or this Blood Crusher is gonna go down. Tzeentch Marines trying to get model losses on these Assault Marines instead. They are a very expensive reinforcement. I think the Chaos Lord could have stayed in the fight there. He has Icon of Pawn. Should have stayed in the fight in my opinion. Gone to tie up those tacticals. Looks like the Blood Crusher will get away. Chaos Space Marines in retreat. Blues still holding the east side. Huge engagement over here. Raveners whole Nid Blob, I can speak correctly, forced off. Angels of Death popped on these Marines thanks to Adila. That's a global ability of the Apothecary. 483 plays 186. Red squads have decent armies, but they are falling behind in VPs here. Here's the range blob of death. Force Commander needs to be careful. Takes out that tunnel, puts up his shield. It falls very quickly. Banshees run the hell away. Force Commander's going to go down here. They force melee on him, and Reds can push this VP now. White to scare off these tacticals first. Reds take Blue's natural. West has been abandoned. Blue just having the better of it. Autarch called down from FAYFAY. Missed that. Bjorn lost some stuff here. Lost his scouts, namely. Did not see if he had any other units. First and only floating a ton of requisition. Needs power though. They need gens here. He should buy some. He has the rec for it. He's getting another Assault Marine squad. Has some scouts out in tier 2 also. Bjorn gets Plasma Devastator's artillery unit that's set up and is going tier 3. More Guardians on the field for FAYFAY, who's losing health like crazy, goes down, retaking his natural. Chaos Lord can revive him. We'll level him to 3. Bjorn is still down deep into red territory. There's the Chaos Lord reviving. This is a huge standoff in the centre here. Plasma Devastator with its incredible range. This is going to be an insane fight if it kicks off. None. Oh, it looks like the Eldar are going east. Reds did not push the east VP at all. Very strange. Bjorn almost tier 3 here. Looks like it is going to kick off. There's a Plasma Dev missing. Assault Marines lose a member. First and only has his Anointed Power Axe. Decent melee damage versus infantry. Assault Marines jumping the Plasmas. Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines doing nasty damage in range. Jumped by Assault Marines. Grenade Heretic still alive. Level 2. Huge blob of Nids trying to force melee on these Guardians to finish them. And they do. No, Guardians get away. Stop. East is still blue. Reds really need to try and take it. Let the Galaxy burn on the range blob. Venom Brood. Need to get a shot off on that Blood Crusher, and there it goes. This is. Who's this? Adila down. First and only also down there. Larimer's Blessing used to revive both of them. They need to be careful. Blues forced off though largely. Lamarin's Blessing doesn't revive you with full health, but they can heal themselves up if need be. Reds taking Blue's natural don't seem to be interested in going east. Happy has the Raveners to easily jump that Shuriken Cannon. 479 plays 100. Reds are in the ascendancy though. Bjorn is tier 3 but has lost pretty much everything, has tactical marines left and that is it. Spent a lot of resources kitting out his force commander and he's just getting shot to pieces by those Tyranids. Here comes Space Marine and his Chaos though. Here's a cooldown. That was Bjorn. Must be Terminators and it is Assault Terminators with their Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields. Elite Infantry. Bash through cover. Cannot be suppressed. Cannot retreat though either. So they do have a teleporter. Reds defending a natural against the Autarch who runs away, has her spear. Looks like the Reds are gonna go east, are they? No. Hormagaunt's checking it out but they'll get suppressed. Here's a Tyranno formation. Don't think it's gonna hit anything. Force Commander's gonna die. No, just gets no, he does die. One more burst from this ranged blob took him down in retreat. Assault Terminator is very, very isolated here. I'm not sure if they have used their teleportation. I think they have because they're kiting away. Whoa. Assault Marines jumping. There's Merciless Strike. Washout going off. Huge engagement in the centre. Reds ignoring the east side, so everything has been the centre of this game. That ranged blob of Nids is crazy. Not even the G.H.G Chaos Space Marines can keep up with that range damage. Armour of the Inferno going off. That's a gravitation grenade I think from the Warp Spider Exarch. There it is. He's level 6 now. He's going to go down though. Did not see what other war gear he had. Chaos Lord has been devastating in this game in melee. There's an Imperial Abyss. This is a crazy engagement. You have a tier 3 Lictor on the field. Has his Vanguard upgrade. The Imperial Abyss didn't hit much. Range needs of death getting low. This Ravener squad down to 100 hit points. Wants to get out of there. Wants to retreat it. They do retreat finally. Level 3 they are. The other brood is also level 3. 479 plays 29. Reds need to keep some VPs. Don't know why they are not hitting this east side. All 3 blue commanders down in this huge central engagement. Crazy. First and only getting a Dreadnought. He lost some stuff there. Happy yet to lose a squad. No mean feat in a 3v3 with Tyranids. The Lictor engages the Shurikens in melee, able to get into range because he can infiltrate. Hormagaunt's now capping this east side. Blues in disarray. Space Marine has 2 Heretic squads and that is it. Those Chaos Space Marines were shredded to pieces. There goes a smite. All 3 commanders still down. Reds getting harassed at top. Warp Spiders with their insane range damage forcing off the Hormagaunts. Lictor stalks away. They managed to decap though. 442 plays 29 with a double cap. Strange strategy by the Reds to completely ignore east side for most of the game and just concentrate everything on the centre. But it's worked. We do have a Chaos Predator on the field for Space Marine. No upgrades for it yet in the form of a mark. Veil of Time on these Assault Marines from the Librarian. Has his Power Sword and Bolt Pistol. D Cannon. Look at the range of it. Tier 3 artillery for Eldar. Assault Marines have their Lightning Claws, so they are going to be fearsome whenever they get anywhere near any infantry. They're getting shot to pieces by these Tyranids though. Look at the health go down. Double Scout Snipers for first and only. Those Assault Marines lose a member and kite away. Blue's completely pegged back here. Dreadnought hits the field first and only in its default state, which is melee. No, it does have the assault cannon. Good range damage versus infantry. Terminators lose 2 members, gonna lose 3. They're gonna go down here and do pretty sloppy from Bjorn. He only has a librarian, which is in retreat. D-Cannon is setting up, covering the VP. Reds don't have much anti-vehicle on the field, I don't think. Dreadnought can melee with his other close combat weapon. Space Marine perhaps realising that and getting another Predator. Top is red, east even. Womblegont's forced off by these Warp Spiders, gonna get caught in retreat by Banshee, saved by the Lictor. 301 versus 29. Tyranid blob of death. Can't save the Lictor who goes down. Banshees also go down though. Blues have completely lost the plot here. Chaos Lord goes down. Lascannon hit him right in the face and did loads of damage. Tyranids now hitting the power. 265 plays 29 up. I think this is pretty much all over. Blues just got decimated in that huge engagement in the centre. Right Lance, I'm sorry, Shuriken should be closer than that. That's a singularity, I believe. And there's a Tyrannid formation. It's going to take out that tank. Ouch, lots of stuff dragged into the singularity. Tank goes down. Central Spire hit him. These spires also grant bonuses to nearby Tyranids. Plus 15% damage and minus 15% damage taken, I believe, are the bonuses. Reds take east thanks to another Lictor. 200 plays 29. Triple cap for Reds, pretty much all over, and has been for a while. Blues unable to make any headway. Avatar on the way for FAYFAY, but it's not gonna do anything. The super heavy armor of it will just get shredded by these Tyranids. Along with everything else, you have more assault marines on the field for Bjorn. Unique unit to the force commander, of course, but we know how well they did before. They need support and to get their lightning claws and to teleport into the center of the Tyranids to stand a chance. 135 plays 29. Space Marine asking his teammates if this is G.H.G. Yes, it is. Assault Terminators running in, have a librarian to support them. I thought they died then, and they almost did, but they are running away with Tome of Time. Is that a singularity again? I think it is. Everything should be far enough away, and is. Here's the Avatar. Super unit for Eldar. Has infantry armor, but it's been snared by this Lascannon and is getting shot to bits by Tyranids. And the Dreadnought, it's already down to 2000 health. There's Whale of Doom forcing the Tyranids off, and there's Imperial Abyss from Space Marine. The scouts want to leave and do. Avatar survives. Plague Marines on the way for Space Marine, not sure why. The only vehicle on the field is a Dreadnought. What they wanted is tons of artillery to devastate the range blob, but they didn't. It's gonna run out here, down to 10. Avatar does go down to Tacticals and the Dreadnought, and there's the end of the game. Epic fight in the center midway through the game, completely ruining the Blues' day. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Stats on the way.